Hey, welcome to New Jump City, everybody, where we recap the week in American and Japanese sequential art. I am your host, Christian, the unbiased king, Espinal. And joining me through Discord, it is the man, the myth, the legend. It is Joshua, Gangsta Time Cole.
It's called Partner, but it should be called Gangsta Time.
What's up, Chris? What's good, everybody listening? Man, I just thought about the other drop, the sword. This is some good guns. And man, I hope
he turns his sword. I hope he turns his sword into some good guns.
Yo, that was so raw, and I was so excited for the series at that time, just for it to get cut so short.
Yeah.
I remember the most random things.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of your Joshisms are here as sound drops. I'm trying to find this other one that you said. I thought I had this set up, but apparently.
There's the ice one.
Oh, here it is.
The world becomes my gun.
That was for when you were talking about World Trigger at some point or something. And you were like, the world becomes my gun. But yeah, also joining us, it is my edgelord producer, edgelord Big News Brian.
Nantoyu big news.
What's up, nerds? We're back. We're back for a new episode of the show. Very excited. We got a good amount of manga to talk about, so let's not waste any time. Let's get into plugs right away. You can find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram, and check out my other podcast, The Shweekly. We're working on season 2 right now, but check out the entirety of season 1, 10 episodes. Very fun show. I worked really hard on, so go check it out. Josh, where can they find you?
You can find me at jdcole_37. That's on Instagram, and at New Jump City Josh. That's on Twitter/X. Also, make sure to say welcome back in the comments to Brian, who went over to Ninja Tower this weekend.
What?
Huh?
Ninja Tower?
Yes.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
It's because he's cool. Brian does cool things.
What the fuck are you talking?
I'm very confused as well. Is this something I should know?
Did I say it wrong? Is it Lurker Tower?
What are you talking about?
A lurker tower.
It's another name for it. It's not Ninja Tower. Oh my god. What was the dude's name, man? The fucking...
Faker Tower. That's
Oh.
I did not go to Faker fucking Tower. That's
Isn't that in Korea?
Bro. That's Korea.
Yeah, man.
Well, welcome back from Faker Tower.
I would love to go to fucking Korea though, because World is on right now.
World?
Yeah, Worlds. You don't know what Worlds is?
No.
It's the biggest tournament for League of Legends. It's like the Super Bowl for League.
Wow.
I think it's the biggest esports event in the world, though.
God
if
damn.
I'm correct. It's either that or Dota. Like Dota TI.
God damn. Well, tell them where they can find you, Brian.
You can find me at b.esp on both Instagram and Twitter. And if you want to catch me when I'm streaming, you can find me at twitch.tv/itspunchline.
Yeah. Follow the show itself at New Jump City on Twitter and Instagram. Email us at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about, and we will answer it on the pre-show chat show that we do every week. Yeah, you know, you could ask us any type of question. It doesn't have to be manga related. If you just want to hear us talk shit, that's the show for you. Or you can comment under the videos that we put up on YouTube, your questions, and we'll get back to you on the show as well. Like, share, subscribe to us on YouTube. If you prefer audio podcasts anyway, which is what we pretty much are right now, You can check us out on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to audio podcasts. We're all up in there, and we have been forever. Every single episode of the show can be found on those platforms. I think YouTube only has from like episode 75 onward. So, check us out on that stuff. And without further ado, I think that's it for the plugs. Let's get into the show.
Oh, good.
One Piece. This is One Piece chapter 1096, Kumachi. Okay, so last we left off, the God Valley incident seems to have been starting to take place. It starts off by the Celestial Dragons landing on God's Valley and choosing it for their weird hunting game thing that they do, where they just unleash a bunch of their slaves onto an island and hunt them along with the actual native inhabitants of the island they choose. And it's a big competition among themselves in order to win prizes. So, that gets started. It's very depressing as a concept. And we open up with this 2-page spread of just folks running away from, everybody getting started. We see Fingerling or Garling talking to a couple other folks that seem to belong to really prestigious families, talking about like, watch this, children. And they're all like talking competitively about hunting human beings. So, they're giving like everybody an hour's head start. And we cut over to Navy headquarters where we see the Grand Fleet Admiral Kong calling Garp, who seems to be just chilling right now on a beach somewhere. And they're begging Garp to basically head over to God Valley to protect the Celestial Dragons that are there from the Rocks pirates. Garp mentions that like they shouldn't have messed with them on Full Lead, but who listens to me? It turns out that the treasures that they stole and the treasures that they were offering as prizes were actually stolen from Full Lead. So
Wow.
they had reason to.
I did not put that together when I was fucking reading this.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So, obviously the Rocks pirates are suspected to come back and get what's theirs. And the Kong is just like, well, the thing is, we didn't think Roger would get involved. And that's when Garp is like, Roger, lead with that next time. I'm going. So, Garp makes his way towards God Valley. We see that the pirates on Full of Lead just left to make their way to God Valley as well. And the game has already begun. People are getting mowed down by celestial dragons and holy knights and all that stuff. Eva, we pick up where we last left off with the chapter where Eva is talking to Kuma and a bunch of other slaves that are there. And they're like, he's trying to convince them to kind of like escape and realize that this game is entirely rigged. One of the slaves is like, but if we survive for the next 3 weeks, we'll be free. And Eva's like, no, man, nobody ever fucking survives this game. We have to escape right now. And we see that Garland already has 100,000 points on his belt. So he's going after like high value targets, it seems. We see that because one of these slaves is a fishman, he's able to bite through everybody's chains and free them. Ginny, the new character that was introduced last chapter, is explaining that the prizes that the Celestial Dragons are offering are the keys to escape. One of them is the dragon devil fruit, the mythical dragon that Kaido gets in the future, we know as. And of course the pawpaw fruit, which allows people to just basically teleport off of from wherever they are. and that's the plan, is that to eat one of those fruits and become able to escape. Um, so they don't know how they're exactly going to get to the center of the island, but Ginny sends out a transmission to someone outside the island, and hoping that somebody outside the island will hear them and help them out, I guess. And they say, like, maybe we're gonna need a decoy for our plan, and Kuma volunteers himself to be the decoy because he's stronger than most people, and he doesn't want to see anyone die. So they I think Eva is inspired by his volunteering, and he's offers to go with Kuma in order to get the fruits. Meanwhile, we get a view from the outside. Navy ships are being attacked left and right as one of these ships, a pirate ship, makes landfall with Rox's flag. And we see the Rox pirates. All the familiars are there. We see Kaido, Big Mom, Whitebeard, Stussy. But we also see some older folks, some newer characters like Gloriosa, the former queen of Amazon Lily. We see Shiki from Strong World.
Golden Shiki.
Yeah, Golden Lion Shiki. We see this new character who people are saying that's Captain John. And if you don't remember,
I don't know who that.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I mean, he's not like a super named character. We don't even know if this is him, but the connection.
You would tell me if it was. You would be like Josh.
Yeah.
Bugging.
Well, the only time we've seen a Captain John mentioned is back in Impel Down. Luffy has this artifact that points to a Captain John's treasure that Buggy has been after forever.
Oh,
No, we've seen him before.
We have seen him before? Where?
Thriller Bark.
He's
one of the
I
zombies.
thought you were going to say he was with Bogard.
Well, that's a pretty
Yeah,
important guy to be put on. It's a pretty important guy to be put on there. I actually didn't know. I didn't remember that, actually.
Remember, he's that guy. He's that zombie that has a bottle
Mm-hmm.
and the coat.
Well, I'll come across him again. But in any case, yeah, the Rox pirates are all there. They're just like kind of talking. They're there to retrieve the devil fruits. Whitebeard is there because he's like, I just know that Rox will lose sight of the goal, and I guess he's keeping Rox in check.
Is Rox the guy with?
Rox doesn't appear. Rox doesn't appear in this chapter. That's Shiki, the guy with two swords.
Oh yeah, and he was on the Rox Pirates.
Yep.
Was Edward Newgate a Rox pirate?
Yep.
Yeah, that's why he's there.
Oh.
Yeah,
But he
Whitebeard.
said, "Who said I was your follower?" Oh.
Well, I guess he's like saying, I think it's more of a alliance type deal with all these ships, with all these pirate crews. It probably isn't necessarily that they were like subordinates necessarily, but more on the same level as Law and Luffy, where they were in an alliance. Because I'm sure that they all had their own pirate crews at this point.
Who's that with the snake?
That's Gloriosa. She's the former empress of Amazon Lily.
Is that what's her name's mom?
I don't think it's her mom, but it's.
She was just the empress.
Yeah, it was the empress at the time. So whoever ruled at Amazon Lily at that time was on Rox's crew, which is interesting.
And who are they and they're speculating that the guy John is the one drinking?
Yes. But nothing's been confirmed about that. That's just the idea. In any case, that's been going on, and from the Navy catches wind of the Rox pirates descending, but not only that, the Roger pirates have also arrived. So that's exciting. They're there. There's like some interesting kind of vague dialogue, talking about how like it's been a whole year. Do you have any idea how I felt this whole time? I don't know what that necessarily means, but
so I think what they're referencing there is when Roger made it to Lodestar and he had to double back to get all the poneglyphs.
Mm.
So it probably took him a year to like go back and do all that shit.
Okay. Yeah, he descends as the Holy Knights get ready for battle themselves. Not only that, Garp also arrives with, of course, his right hand man Bogard, sword already drawn.
RGC, by the way.
Well, I'll wait.
It's my RGC. Just toss it out.
All right.
Certified RGC. Certified RGC. Certified RGC.
We get the goat. You get the RGC. That's just how this works.
Well, you know, throughout all the chaos, Eva and Kuma both arrive at the center of the island where the fruits are being held, but they are immediately attacked by Big Mom, who comes in and snatches the dragon fruit away from Eva. Kuma retains his paw fruit and he eats it before Big Mom can get her hands on it. And right as I guess he's going to use the fruit, we see Jay Garcia use his weird devil powers to like telekinetically snipe Kuma. And he's like, the Buccaneer boy, your only options are slavery and death. History chose them for you. And he's like, are you important, mister? It doesn't make sense that you're born important, and there's no reason for anyone to be born a slave. He's like, if I've got some power, then I want to be like Nika and save as many of these unfortunate people as I possibly can. And Saturn just responds with, which is why you people will vanish for good. And that's the end of what we know of what we see of the God Valley incident, as the narration takes us away, basically saying that this event would be lost to the dark shadows of history. And we cut over to the Sorbet Kingdom, where we see that Kuma, Eva, and Ginny all managed to escape, along with over 500 people, it turns out, Kuma was able to rescue. They mentioned that the only news of the incident that got out was of Garp's heroics, and they won't talk about the probable many other things that happened that day. And of course, they dropped Morgan's name because he's always instigating.
You called him a hack.
Yeah. So,
he puts out propaganda for the rich ruling class.
Yeah. So, they're all living in this church that Kuma's family used to run. And Eva's asking, is like, why are you praying, Kuma? And he's like, I'm thinking of all the other lives I could have saved. And Eva drops that, like, oh, come on, you saved over 500 people back there. That's amazing. And now you've got hands of liberation that set people free. And so it's a very sweet moment. Kuma's like, whoa, that's true though. Hands of liberation. So at that point, Eva goes off to sea to make the most of his freedom, and Ginny decides to stay behind with Kuma to figure out her life, basically. So yeah, the next few pages are Kuma and Ginny making a life for themselves. Some kids I guess they like chop wood and try to sell it. And these two kids who look a lot like characters that we've seen actually on Bonnie's crew, arrive and try to pick on Kuma. Ginny beats them up, but then Kuma uses his abilities to extract the pain from their bodies. And they're all, working with Kuma now. And Kuma and Ginny manage to make a nice little life for themselves where they can eat actual good food. And, they have a nice dinner. And Ginny asks Kuma, when did they turn him into a slave? And Kuma answers that when he was 4. And she was like, me too. It's not something to celebrate. And, they're realizing it's really just occurring to them that they're full and they're happy, and they just start crying. And that's where the chapter ends. Whew. Lots of stuff going on here. But Josh, what did you think about One Piece chapter 1096?
Um, it wasn't my favorite chapter, but I really did enjoy it a lot. Let me let me get to the part of the chapter that all right. So God God what's it called? God Valley.
God Valley.
So I think we were shown a picture of it in the past when it was referenced.
Not really.
And
We haven't seen like any detailed picture of it. This is the first, like this flashback is the first we've actually seen of it,
Hmm.
as far as I remember, at least.
because I just kind of assumed that the island looked like that because of like a fight, because of like an epic fight that split the mountain in two or something like that, like an attack. And it obviously wasn't this fight because it's already like that. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Well, I thought that could have been interesting, but whatever. Maybe it happened. Maybe there's like significance to this in the Void Century because this looks unnatural. Something definitely happened here. Um, Bola is. I thought it was hilarious that, like that. I realized that they stole the fruits from Fullerlet Island, and that's why they pulled up to come get them back. But man, like the Marines and the Celestial Dragons is moving real shysty. Stealing from the pirates just to have a game. Humans, this fucking yeah, this shit gotta stop. And then, all right, so anyway, I think we're absolutely gonna get more information about this fight. In my opinion, I don't think that's that. I I don't know how y'all feel about that, but
Oh yeah, this is not the last we'll see of God Valley.
absolutely not. Yeah. But I think I think this is really cool. I hope we get a little bit longer of a flashback to show like everything Kuma went through and how he became like a revolutionary. Like I see how certain seeds are getting planted. We'll probably end up seeing Luffy's dad eventually, in this flashback. That's what I'm really looking forward to. I'm hoping this is like a revolutionary flashback.
I think it will be to at least a certain extent. I would be surprised if we didn't see Dragon during this flashback.
That would be really
I feel
cool.
like we're in for a big twist when it comes to Zebek and Dragon and stuff.
I feel like we're not gonna. I feel like when we do see Dragon, I feel like it's going to be a lot like the God Valley flashback, where we don't get the whole story of how the revolutionaries were formed, because I feel like that's a question for later. But I think we're going to see Garp for sure. Not Garp, Dragon for sure.
Yeah, this feels like it's too much. There's too many revolutionaries for it to be a coincidence that Dragon wouldn't be here.
But yeah, did you have any other thoughts, Josh?
I definitely think Shanks is Fingerman's son.
Oh yeah, yeah. They look exactly alike. Like the more I see him, the more I'm like, oh yeah, that's Shanks' dad.
And I'm also thinking he has to have like he probably has Conqueror's Hockey too. And
Yeah,
he probably has
probably.
his own version of it. Similar. There has to be something about him that's more than just his swords play. He probably like has that strength as well.
Um, I don't know. There was a lot of people talking about like this chapter, and there's a lot of comparisons to some of the God Knights that we've seen, that they look just like some of the kids that Big Mom, that not Big Mom, that what's her name, Mother Carmel had, if that makes any sense. Like the ones that were with Big Mom when she was young,
Mm-hmm.
that she was selling to the Marines. I think some of them bear a resemblance to some of the God Knights that we saw in this chapter.
Yeah, I don't remember them enough to really make that call on me.
And I don't know. I'm really bummed that we don't get to see more of the God Valley incident just because of how big it is. But I think we're gonna see it through Shanks's POV. The rest of it, which I hope is the truth. What else happened this chapter? I'm trying to remember. There was the whole thing with for some reason I'm fucking blanking on it. All right. So obviously there's Bogard. Can't forget about fucking Bogard.
Of course.
I think it's interesting that all these fucking people showed up at the same time because of a fucking kid hacked into into the fucking snails and kind of spread the information. It's crazy that the biggest event in all of One Piece, like one of the biggest events of all time, was orchestrated by a child. It's fucking nuts. And some people are saying that she has some similarity to Nami too, but I doubt it. I don't think that's true.
Yeah, I would say that's maybe a stretch.
But what I really liked about this chapter is how it set up all the fucking pieces for it to be kind of expanded upon later. I'm so fucking hyped for when we actually get into it. Specifically what happens with Garland and Whitebeard, because I think if Shanks and Whitebeard are well, not Shanks and Whitebeard. If Whitebeard and Figureland are actually related, then that makes the line he said like a few years ago all the more valid. Where it's like Oda really set this shit up that long ago. Like almost a decade ago, he set up this encounter in God Valley, which is just insane fucking foresight if it actually happens. But yeah, I don't really have much else to say. This chapter was fucking goated. The way that Oda sets up, future reveals is gonna be fucking amazing.
Yeah. I too am like not that it takes away from the chapter at all, but I am also sad that we didn't get to see more of the God Valley stuff. Just because it's one of those things that sounds like just such an epic like idea for a One Piece movie even.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
Thinking
mean,
that could be the title, One Piece, God Valley.
for real. I mean, I wouldn't be mad if they did like the Jujutsu Kaisen Zero route and made that it when they get to the flashback of the actual flashback of God Valley, make it a movie. Because that would be so sick.
Yeah.
So sick.
Canon movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sick.
So sick. Give it a big old budget and animate the shit out of it. It would be so cool. But yeah, I mean, what we did see of it was pretty epic. It was cool to see where Kuma got his powers from. I don't know how he escapes from one of the 5 elders that's standing right in front of him.
Somebody probably gets in the way.
Much less with probably, but I want to know who.
Rayleigh.
Maybe Rayleigh. That'd be sick. Rayleigh. Roger himself, probably. Imagine Roger versus one of these guys. That would be so cool.
Yeah.
It might be Big Mom because Big Mom hates.
Yeah,
it
Big
when
Mom
kids
is also
are
right
in-
there.
It's probably because he just literally smacked kid in the face.
Well, I don't know if Big Mom will care about that. Big Mom
I
kills
mean,
her.
she has mother mode. You don't remember when?
Yeah, but she like
Mom
eats
mode?
she eats the souls of her own kids. You know what I mean? I don't think she particularly like cares about children.
She might just have beef on site with the elders.
Yeah, I think she would just have beef on site with the elders.
That was that one time when she got mad that Tama got hurt.
Oh, that was
Remember?
because like she was in amnesia mode, and she also like Tama fed her or tried to feed her.
I don't know about that.
Well, she does. She dead ass does not care about her own
she
kids.
got amnesia. I remember how happened amnesia.
Yeah, she doesn't care about her kids until they're grown up. But when
Well,
they're
not even that
babies,
much.
who cares?
You know, she killed an adult son.
Yeah, an adult son, not a child's son. You know what I mean?
Well, they haven't crossed her. You know, I don't think she cares about kids that much. I think Tama was a special case because she was amnesia at the time and also tried to feed her. I feel like Big Mom's on the same kind of timing Luffy is that if you feed her, she likes you. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. It was cool to see the little like one of the things I see with Kumo carrying that thing is that in the volumes of One Piece, sometimes Oda would draw characters as children, and when he drew Kuma, he drew him carrying that bundle of sticks. And this was years ago. It was like damn near a decade ago almost, I think. So, you know, it's always cool to see those little hints that he would drop in the volumes of just like characters' backstories.
Yeah, he's been setting up the God Valley incident for years, and it looks like he's going to continue to set up the God Valley incident
God damn it.
for more years to come.
I'm tired of this setup. Enough with the setup.
That is actually insane.
Yeah. But in any case, yeah, I mean, I thought this chapter was just like, you know, it was giving me a good dose of lore. Not good enough because I wanted to see more God Valley stuff, but I'll take any lore drops that I could get. I'm here for it. I really like this chapter. It's not my favorite of the week, but seeing everything, you know, come together in the God Valley incident was really cool, and it just got me more hyped to see the real thing. But you know, this is Kuma's flashback, not necessarily a God Valley flashback, so it makes sense. The focal point is Kuma here. But yeah, that's where that's my thoughts. Do you guys have any rebuttals? Anything else to mention before we go?
Nah.
Okay.
Nope.
Well, that being said, let us move onward.
We call that easy money, GG.
My Hero Academia. This is My Hero Academia, chapter 405, The Final Boss. Last we left off, All Might was about to get ripped in half by All For One, and until Bakugo managed to finally get up from being dead and work with Deku in order to get to launch himself towards All For One and save All Might, which is a pretty sweet moment. We open this chapter with everybody looking in awe as Bakugo manages to save All Might, and we enter, I guess, All Might's head, where he seems to be talking to Night Eye, who's like, "So this isn't when it was supposed to happen. This isn't when I'm supposed to die." And Night Eye was like, "Actually, yes, it was. You were supposed to die here. When I looked into your future and I saw your death, this is where I saw an ending. But you know, your promise is intact. So you know, he made it work. You know." But everyone knows the old master, and All Might is like, but everybody knows that the old master is supposed to die and pass the torch. And Night Eye is like, you read too many comic books, Toshinori Yagi. And he's like, this is what I'm making my own hallucination say. And he's like, well, you're a hero, but you're also human. You can't possibly be ready to die. And Bakugo lands with All Might, saves the fucking day. Very, very cool moment for Bakugo. And he's like, Bakugo, are you okay? And he's like, that's my lane. You banged up bag of bones. He just starts spitting up blood. And then Edge Shot emerges. And he's like, I believe it is my line as well. And he explains that he forced Bakugo to expel the blood that was pooled up inside him. So, you know, he should be a little more comfortable now. And Edge Shot explains that he used his own body to mend his body with bowline knots, courtesy of the hidden Hakamata style. Those repairs will not come unraveled, yet every breath you take will inflict hellish agony. Your body demands not action, but rest. And Bakugo just like clutches at his chest and is like, "Thank you for bringing me back, senpai." And Edshot explains that actually he didn't really bring him back. All he did was hold him together. Despite his success in forcibly restarting his heart and lungs, the spark of life would not return. So, he was pretty much at wit's end there. He had to, he was at a point in using his quirk that he had to make a judgment call between his own life and Bakugo's. But then he saw something rushing through his bloodstream, none other than something produced by Bakugo's body moments before his death. A tiny bead of sweat that basically was like a defibrillator, I imagine, and exploded a little bit and brought him back to life. And he says, "I only held you together. What brought you back was the power you've honed." So, pretty cool. Bakugo was like, anyway, I assumed you'd be tangling with All For One, but who's this runt I'm about to destroy? And All Might's like, that runt is All For One. And he asks Bakugo to hold out his arm, and he passes down his little gauntlet down to him, saying that, it won't do its original job anymore, but it can still serve as a brace. Great explosion, murder god, dynamite. And All Might's gauntlet goes on to Bakugo. He says, I wish I could have given you more. And Bakugo responds with a cool little smile, a very All Might-esque. And I just noticed how fucking tight All For One looks in this photo. In this one panel where veins are just popping up on his face. And
they're covering half of his face.
Dude, it's crazy. And he's like, "No, that can wait. After coming this far, one for all, and my brother will be mine." And he says it requires an uncompromised hijacking of Tomura's all too powerful will. I'll have to grant him my quirk and me with it. So, and he's just lamenting over the fact that nothing's going the way I thought it would. My plans are falling apart. And
all before his very eyes.
Hmm?
All before his very eyes.
Yeah. He's like, this is harder than I thought. And I guess as he's about to go and spring into action, Bakugo appears and he's just like, I'm the final boss, All For One. And he's just basically got his hand on his face as he's about to explode it. And interestingly enough, All For One gets a little vision of the second wielder of All For One, or One For All, just as Bakugo just explodes him down onto the ground and shouts that One For All couldn't keep you in the ground, but we'll finish the job and then some. And that's where the chapter ends. Josh, what did you think about My Hero Academia chapter 405?
I thought this was a very interesting way for Bakugo to have him brought back. I mean, I was fine with Edshot dying and, to bring Bakugo back, but the fact that he said his quirk awakened, and helped bring him back, it was interesting. It was cool. I want to see him fight now. That's what I'm looking for. So I want to see what this new quirk does. I don't think it's a new quirk. I think it's just like an awakened version of it or whatever. Like awakened fruits. And they're like, so probably just more explosions, just more. It's basically more swaggy explosions, I think. Lots of projectile explosions. Cool stuff. Anyway. There was a lot of really cool moments in here that really reminded me that this is based on a comic book. These last few pages, when he's and he's got his hand on All For One's head, he got there so fast. I don't.
Fast as fuck, boy.
Yeah, man, all up in that nigga's grill, I got something for you, bitch, nigga. Boom. Same shit. he really did him greasy. Like, I'm not gonna hold you. I didn't expect this. Bakugo came. He was like, it's my turn. I'm next. Me and that other guy over there. Fucking cheese ball with 12,000 quirks. So, but I'm that nigga still. It's all right. I'm gonna put you in the fucking dirt, little boy. Yeah.
Put you in the dirt, little boy.
Yeah, because Awful is an infant now. Or whatever. He's young.
I don't think he's
He's a wee
de-aged again yet.
he's a wee lad.
He is
Yeah,
a
he's
wee
a wee
lad.
lad, as All Might once put it.
Yeah, that I thought that was so funny, the way that was worded.
You're just a little boy now, boy.
Right. He said, I've beaten up little kids before. I can do
He
this.
did not say that, actually.
I mean, he's thinking that. I used to pick on little kids all the time.
These hands are rated E for everyone.
And that's why I was the symbol of peace.
Yeah.
Because I had 2 pieces.
Awful One has taken a lot of damage in the course of this arc. He's taken so much punishment. And good for him for still standing. But he's had like 8 forms at this point. Like
Yeah.
Frieza and his family.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be at the end of his rope pretty soon.
You think he's got one more form left?
I mean,
Aside from Glowy Baby?
the only other form I can think of is Baby.
Glow Baby.
Glow Baby.
He was the first. I'm telling you, that's got to be the story that he got jealous
It's got to be.
of everybody else's quirks.
So he started absorbing them all? I don't know about that one.
No, he couldn't have been the first one. He couldn't have because his brother was the first user of All for One. I mean, One for All. And there was already a quirk society. So as much as I would have really enjoyed that to be for that to be the case, it's not. It's not Brian, it's not Chris. Anyway, those are my thoughts for this chapter. It was fun.
Brian, what did you think?
Again, the
I must
art
hear you.
fucking Horikoshi smashed it out the fucking park as per usual.
Smash.
He's just fucking built different, bro. I don't understand how someone could be that fucking good at drawing, especially on a week to week basis. Like it's absolutely fucking insane. I thought, is Edshot like, is he dying or is he like
I
what's going
think
on with him?
you know what I was wondering that myself, and my guess is that like because Bakugo was able to like take that last extra step, it saves Edgeshot from dying. So I think he's just gonna be in bad condition for a while, but I think he'll live. Because he mentions that like he was at the point where he had to like make the judgment call as to whether he was gonna sacrifice his life. But then the bead of sweat came in and he was like, oh, thank God. He had to be like, oh, fuck.
He's like, oh shit, thank God.
Oh, Jesus Christ, thank you.
So wait, so did the bead of sweat save him then?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think that means he's just a noodle for the rest of his life, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a possibility. I
think he's just going to become like Bakugo's sidekick.
that'd be very funny. Well, he cut himself off from Bakugo, so he's like not going to be there. But
I don't know. That's so fucked up, though. Like, I feel like this is a fate worse than death, if I'm being honest.
well, I guess that's the question. Would you rather be a noodle or die? Noodle or death, guys? That's the question for the day.
Like,
Noodle.
would you rather be a noodle or would you rather be a kid's heart?
Noodle.
You want to be?
You'd rather be a noodle?
Would I have agency?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you'd be.
you're sentient. You're a sentient noodle with really cool hair.
Or would I have agency?
Yeah.
does
What
that
do you
mean?
mean?
What, would I be able to move around at my own will, or would I really just be a noodle
Well, it looks
laying
like
there
Ed Shot.
on the
You would be
plate?
a noodle that can move.
It looks like Ed Shot can move. He's just like tired right now.
Yeah, you can move and talk. as
Yeah,
you
I'd
say.
rather be the noodle.
Yeah, I think I'd rather be Noodle too. Death or Noodle? Hey, everybody, write in. Comment, email us at newdripcitypod@gmail.com. Would you rather be dead or be a noodle
No,
like
not
Ed
dead.
Shot?
Be a kid's heart.
Well, he'd be dead. He'd be a dead man.
No, he'd be a heart.
No, he would be dead. He said
No,
he says it here.
Nah, man. Like, you don't understand. Like, he would be the kid's heart.
Yeah, but
So
that's
the
not
heart is
being
beating.
alive.
If the heart's beating, then he's alive.
No,
as the
well,
kid.
he'd be dead, Brian. He says it
Yeah,
here.
he would you know, metaphorically.
He'd be dead. He wouldn't be the heart, even. He would be stitches on a heart.
Yeah, which is technically the heart.
No, it's not.
I don't think you know biology, Christian.
Well, the question still stands. Would you rather be a noodle or die?
When you phrase it like that, I'd rather be the noodle.
Yeah, I'd rather be the noodle. I don't know if I could pick death. It does look like it would be a shitty life, though. You'd be a little noodle. He doesn't... All he is an eyeball. He's basically a worm.
Would you love me if I was still a worm?
Yes, Brian. I would love you if you were a worm. That's Ed Shot. Ed Shot is the embodiment of that question.
Yeah, for real.
Would you love me if I was still a noodle?
Honestly, I hope they drop the whole fucking Great Explosion Murder God part and just call him Dynamite, because that would be fucking sick.
Well, you could just call him Dynamite. I don't think you have to say the whole thing.
But it is pretty fucking sick that both Deku and Bakugo get a final boss, and they're both the same final boss.
Yeah.
I feel like this one kind of makes sense too, because Bakugo does have some fucking... I feel like he has more in it for wanting to fight like the original All for One than Deku. Considering that he was literally abducted by him. Like,
That's a funny way to put it.
Yeah, I think they have beef, I would say. So.
Abducted.
I'm really excited to see how this fight goes out, because man, I fucking missed Bakugo so much. Hopefully he does have a little extra kick due to Edge Shot, but I feel like that's not the case.
Man, he better. If I become a noodle, you better be super powerful. I may not be dead, but I basically gave up my life as a person.
Like, maybe he could hide his sweat beads and just like make like a minefield of them.
Well, I think that's what it is. Like, you know, that's what all those sparkles are around them. You know, you can make probably like projectiles now without his gauntlets, really.
Yeah, those are all my thoughts. Glad to have Bakugo back doing his thing.
Yeah, this was my RGC.
Certified RGC. Certified RGC. Certified RGC.
It just like harkened me back to when My Hero Academia was like doing some really good character work with Bakugo. Kind of early on. It just shows how far he's come, and he's one of my favorite characters in the series. So, it was really cool to see him like kind of like everything he's gone through culminate into this moment where he gets to basically take down one of the baddest villains of all time. You know?
Yeah, that like officially puts him in the same like in the same area code as Deku.
Yeah. So, and there's like a little lore implication with the second user and all that most folks probably saw coming already, that he's probably a distant relative of Bakugo's, but pretty excited to see where this goes. My Hero Academia is off next week, which
Probably because he has some fucking banging art cooking.
yeah, it's a possibility that he's drawn something up pretty sweet, like right now as we speak. So very very excited for this chapter. It was really an entertaining read for me. I'm glad Edgeshot didn't die. That's nice. That's a nice little touch.
I feel like it's weird that they didn't kill him.
I don't mind it. There's nothing that like his death is like meh. You know what I mean? His death wouldn't really do anything for the story. So if he survives, it's not the worst thing. So
I feel like it would add more like motivation.
Well,
it would add more stakes.
he's not dead, but bro's life is over. He is a noodle. So
He's a sidekick now.
yeah. Yeah, he's Replica basically from World Trigger. He's a little,
Yeah, basically.
He's like he's like a little worm man. Unless he can
I hope
regenerate from this. I imagine he could in theory.
I doubt it. I feel like it would be cool if he's like Bakugo's biological Alfred, or you know what I mean? Or like Friday.
Let the man retire. He is a noodle.
What else is he gonna do?
If I'm him, I'm retiring. I'm not working anymore.
What is he gonna do as a noodle?
Not be in constant danger.
He might as well be out there like doing shit.
I don't know. Do whatever noodles do. Whatever sentient noodles do.
Just noodle boys doing what noodle boys do.
But
all right, but those are all my thoughts. My Hero excellence.
Yeah. Yeah, mine too. I mean, I really enjoyed this chapter a lot. It was my favorite chapter of the week. By a margin, to be honest. Everything was really good this week. But it was good to have Bakugo back and have this moment with All Might himself too. So also it doesn't really it can only help to see Bakugo deliver some swift justice to All for One. So that was sick, where he just like slammed him down on the ground. But yeah, those were all my thoughts now. You guys ready to move on to our next series?
Yes, sir.
Then let's move on then.
Fi me picnic in the car with me so I can't chat.
Jujutsu Kaisen. This is Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 240. Foolish Survivor, Live On. We get a color page, 2-page spread here that looks pretty cool. What the fuck is going on with Itadori's arm? Why did he draw this like we're supposed to know what this is?
And they're really fronted on us for the chapter too.
Yeah, because he doesn't make an appearance in this either. We won't know.
Cool new arm shield thing.
I don't know what it is.
Remember his cool new arm shield thing?
It's like a monster. It's like a monster.
He is a monster. He's a fucking beast.
What is that? Is it a curse tool?
He's giving Chad vibes. I'm not feeling it.
It is giving Chad vibes, huh?
It's giving like his powers aren't actually cursed energy, but really hollow.
Yeah, and also Fullbringer.
Same difference, right?
No, they're different.
You're different.
Fullbringers don't have hollow powers?
No, that was an entirely different thing. Anyway, the chapter starts off with something of a flashback. We see the angel talking to Hakari, Okotsu, Mei, and Kusakabe. And the angel says that they think that they should attack Kenjaku before the fight between Gojo and Sukuna ends. Basically, they're like, beating Sukuna won't mean anything if Kenjaku achieves his goal of merging people with Tengen. So, Hikari is talking about how, like, judging from Kenjaku's addition to the rules, eradicating all players may be a condition of ending the culling game. So, they're they mentioned that, like, then why worry? Hikari and Okotsu says that Hikari and I are still players, so as long as we're fighting Sukuna, Kenjaku can't win yet, because he has to end the culling game before he can merge everyone. And the only way it ends is if, like, we're all dead or something. This is where the rules get a little confusing to me, because I don't necessarily remember the whole vibe. But yeah, he's basically like, if we defeat Sukuna only for our players to get annihilated, interfering would be useless. So, I guess they're saying that, like, if it doesn't mean anything if they beat Sukuna, because then Kenjaku can come out of nowhere and take them all out while they're weakened. So, he could be counting on that. So that's why they need to take care of Kenjaku now, so that if they all have to fight Sukuna, he can't catch them by surprise with some other shit. So Kusakabe is like, well, if we surprise him with just one fighter, maybe Zenin would have a chance. By Zenin, he means Maki, obviously. So he's like, but we shouldn't divide our forces before fighting Sukuna. I mean, our assassin would have to be up to the task. And, most grade 1 sorcerers probably wouldn't be very good at it. And Mei counts herself out because she has a record of running away. But the angel...
LOL.
The angel nominates Fumihiko Takaba. And they're like, what? That one goofy player? And he says that... the angel says that it could have a bad effect on his curse technique, so don't tell anyone what I'm about to say, not even Takaba himself. His curse technique is... And we cut back to Kenjaku fighting Takaba. Kenjaku's attacks not having any effect on Takaba. Takaba pulls off a Yu-Gi-Oh joke where he's like, hey, long-haired boy, you activated my trap card. And Kenjaku turns into Bandit Keith.
Yes, you remember.
It was so fucking funny. I was like, bro, that's the most random reference in the world. It's like turning Kenjaku into Bandit Keith. And Kenjaku thinks to himself, is like, he can create and control the things he imagines. So if I'm not careful, my jujutsu will have no effect, despite all the knowledge I've gained across 1,000 years. What a pesky player. But every curse technique has a weakness.
What a pesky player.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, he's Kenjaku asks, "Who are you?" And Takaba introduces himself. He says, "I'm Fumihiko Takaba with Nabe Nabe Entertainment. I ain't bragging, but last year I made the first round of P1." And Kenjaku's like, "Isn't the only thing about P1 how poorly it's handled?" He's like, "You just pissed off every single comedian."
Were you pissed off, Chris?
I don't think so.
Dude, how do you feel about that?
I felt fine. I didn't know what P1 was.
I can't wait to hear your whole thoughts on this chapter, but we'll get to that.
Yeah. Okay, so they start just basically talking about, like, TV shows, basically, like funny TV shows, and Takaba starts thinking, like, whoa, I can actually have a conversation with this guy. Maybe this guy actually likes comedy. And Takaba asks him why he's doing this. And, making people kill each other and merge to give birth to monsters and stuff. And Kenjaku's like, I've answered this question before, so the short answer is that I'm intellectually curious. And Takaba's like, so you would give up if you found something more interesting? And Kenjaku's like, possibly. And
I like the way his eyes looked when he said that.
Yeah, he said possibly. And he's like, you make me laugh if you can. It's written on your face. And just all of a sudden, he has like a mirror, Kenjaku does, and the words make me laugh are printed on his face. And Takaba goes like, okay, I'll do a simple gag. It's copyright free, so go ahead and use it as your own. and he just says a joke. He says, "Don't marry me. I don't want you as my Wi-Fi." The joke kind of bombs. It doesn't do
That's
well.
the hardest joke I've ever heard of.
Kenjaku doesn't love it. And he's like, "Let me guess, you thought that up at a coffee shop or when you were about to come or someplace you were about to connect with crappy Wi-Fi."
He says, "Spot on."
It's like, damn.
You knew.
Yeah, and he continues to explain that folks in front of the TV at home might not get that joke. He says, for example, Take Haranashi's joke about how you can't stand up if you pull out your backbone. It's a quick set joke with a setup and a punchline, but your Wi-Fi joke is only a punchline, and that just won't cut it. And Takaba's like, "Ugh, it really sucks when someone rejects your joke logically." And then all of a sudden, they're in this like audition type room, and he's like, "Consider your audience when crafting your jokes." And he ends up elbowing Takaba super far, like through the forest actually. And he's like, "Ha, I could tell that one landed." And he thinks to himself that activating his curse technique may require confidence and certainty. Takaba yells back that he's never been. It doesn't matter. He's just a poser who's never been on stage. It doesn't matter if you don't get my jokes, as long as other people do. And Kenjaku's like, "Are you sure you should be the one saying that?" So Takaba just like freezes up and he goes, "Let's go. Let's have a staring contest. Whoever laughs loses. Ready, set, go." And they make both funny faces. Kenjaku's is just creepy. He just pulls up his head to reveal the brain Kenjaku in his head while the ghetto face makes a funny face. And I guess like this guy laughs. Takaba laughs and
That was hilarious.
and Takaba takes a hit to the jaw, sending him flying. And he's like, "No fair, man. It was a staring contest." And he starts thinking to himself, "Is this amateur funnier than me? Now that I think about it, it is humorous for a handsome guy with fair and delicate features to have long hair and wear a monk's robe. And what's with those forehead stitches? It's all actually very funny." And he says the two types of comics will always be in demand: comics who are funny and comics who think that they're funny. And he's like, "It's okay. I am funny. I'm funny." And then he peeps at Hazunoki's dead body and he just like freezes up. And Kenjaku's like, "What's wrong? Go on, laugh. You're an entertainer, are you?" And dude, he looks terrified. Just be like, "This ain't funny. Doing comedy with you is no fun. If we don't laugh, then why would the audience? Why did I ever become an entertainer?" And that's where the chapter ends. Very sad. Josh, what did you think about Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 240?
RGC, regrettably so.
Regrettably?
Certified RGC. Certified RGC. Certified RGC.
Well, I say regrettably because let me just break it down. This was an excellent chapter, and I hated that it was excellent. This gave me some very similar vibes to Gojo, in a sense, versus Sukuna, only because of this reason, right? Kenjaku is very strong. He said it himself. He's been around for 1,000 years. He's not. Hold on. He's got a wealth of knowledge and experience, and even against somebody who's seemingly invincible, just like Gojo, he decided to stay calm and figure out a way he could break through. And he just instinctively knew that he had a opening to attack, and he knew that something worked. So he was able to deduce from there. I don't think we're about to see what's his name, the comedian?
Takaba.
Takaba.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we're gonna see him die immediately in the next chapter. I don't think so. I think there's more to this fight, but I'm a little nervous
kind of on pack watch right now. You guys know what that is?
Yes.
You know, hashtag RIP Bozo and all of that.
Yes.
Yeah, you know. So like, and he's not a bozo, but it's okay. I'm gonna take y'all to a trip down memory lane. It was the 2019 NBA playoffs. Okay. And the
Mhm.
Atlanta Hawks beat the Knicks in the first round. And then they went on to play the 76ers. This series would be known as the series that killed Ben Simmons' career.
Mhm.
Although, right? So they played against the Sixers and like just stunned them, ended up winning the series. But when they went up 3-2 on them. Or no, like they went up 3-1 on them. And then I started seeing the memes, like I seen like people posting shit on Twitter. And one of them said it had Shannon Sharp with like smoking a blunt or something like that. And it had mad hashtags like say, excuse me, hashtag pack watch, hashtag RIP bozos, and it had like a few other ones like that was just straight violating. And I felt so bad because it's like, yo, the Sixers are a good team. It's just that Trey Young and the Hawks are going crazy right now for some reason. And that's how I feel. It's like Takaba's dope. He's not like he's so awesome, but Kenjaku's such a fucking asshole. Like he's found a way to turn himself into the ultimate villain in a comedy series, which is someone trying to tell him that they're not that funny and they need to do things differently. Fuck that guy, man. Why is Gigi so good at this? Gigi only can do this so many times before I may not be able to do nothing about that shit, but somebody's gonna run. He's gonna make enough enemies one day that he's gonna catch himself in the elevator with somebody. They're gonna be like, I know who you are, and you cross the line, and I want to show you that there's consequences to that. And and it's like you don't want that, Gigi. That's not the type of smoke you want in your life. That's not. You don't want to live that anxious lifestyle where you always gotta look over your shoulder and you need a bodyguard with you at all times. Don't do it. Make him beat Kajaku, and then make the whole series be about them finding a way to beat Sukuna because he's enough. He's enough, bro. Kajaku's plan is whack anyway. I want to merge all the people of Japan with the big monster. Boo. Boo. No one cares anyway. Let the comedian win. Okay, that was all my thoughts.
That was a beautiful statement. Beautiful.
All right, no, I got a little bit more to say. I'm sorry. I all jokes aside, I thought it was really. I started feeling sad when he started realizing like losing to Kenjaku and realizing he wasn't that funny. And then when he seen the dead body and that shit got real for him, I I got nervous. I got nervous. Like damn, like I don't like where this is going. But I also started to gain hope. Like, no, this isn't Gigi style. If he was gonna lose, he would have did it on some like he would have lost right now. It would have happened, or but I don't. That's just not his style. I do feel like the fight is gonna be prolonged, whether he wins or loses. All right, that's it. Brian, what was your thoughts?
I do agree that this feels a little too soon for him to lose, if that makes any sense. Like for a guy this powerful, I feel like there's something we don't know about his curse technique yet. Um
Yeah,
and we're gonna
because
find out about it
we didn't
next
get
chapter.
the background narration. Sorry.
No, you're good. It just makes sense, like it's like they're setting him up to tell the funniest joke, if that makes any sense.
Imagine it's a mama joke.
Yeah, like he the odds are too stacked in his favor now, almost too quick. And I feel like is just going to turn back into Kenjaku's face. Again, I don't think he's going to lose, but I don't think he's going to die either. I feel like he's buying enough time for someone else to come in and take care of Kenjaku. I still think it's going to be Yuta. I think Yuta is going to show up here because, this has always been his fight. It's always been him who had to take care of Kenjaku.
Why do you keep saying that?
Because they have beef.
Well, actually, I think the last time they fought, it was Geto. Like, he didn't fight Kenjaku.
Yeah, but Yuta said he was going to kill Kenjaku.
Well,
Wait, I thought he fought against. Oh, it was
he fought against
Oh,
Geto
shit.
in Zero. That was
Wait,
Geto.
wait. Geto was evil at that point?
Yes. Zero takes place between the current timeline and the Gojo flashback. You know what I mean? Like the season 2 flashback.
Okay.
It goes season 2
I'm a little
flashback.
lost.
It goes the timeline wise, chronologically, the story is Gojo's flashback in season 2, Jujutsu Kaisen 0, current timeline.
Oh, okay. So that thing that happened with him fighting against Megami's dad, that was before Zero.
Yes, that was before 0.
And in Zero,
That's when Geto is evil. That's when Geto switches sides
so
to become a
Geto was
curse.
evil before Kenjaku took over his brain?
Well, Geto dies. Gojo kills Geto at the end of 0. And Kenjaku takes over Geto's corpse.
How?
We don't know yet, but that's basically what happened.
Oh.
That's why Gojo was so shocked to see him. And that's why
Geto really turned evil?
Yeah.
Well, he snapped because of what happened in that village. Oh, he hated humans, right?
Yeah,
That was his thing.
he came to hate humans after what happened to Rina.
The
Who's
girl who's
Rina?
supposed to be the star plasma vessel.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't humans' fault what happened to Rina, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. A human killed her.
Well,
Wow, I really need
they're
to
all
see this
human.
again.
I think it was more non-jujutsu sorcerers.
Yeah.
It was a
Toji was the one who
non-jujutsu
just
sorcerer
fucking
that killed her?
Yeah, that was Toji who killed her.
Megami's dad?
Yeah.
Yeah. He just showed up and fucking shot her in the face.
Yeah, but he doesn't represent all non-sorcerers. The fuck? Come
Yeah,
on,
but then
man.
there were all those guys who were like, yeah, good shit.
Yeah, but it was people who hired Toji. It was like non-sorcerers who hired Toji to kill that girl.
I really should go back and reread Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah. Well, season 2 is already on that point, so maybe
If
watch
it goes
a
on
bit.
hiatus for like a month, I'll be able to reread it again.
Yeah. I think it's worth it rereading it. That's what I did. I did it a while back just because there's a lot of information that I just forgot.
Dude, Ghetto's a bitch ass nigga, man.
Bro.
He started all of this.
Because he's a fucking bitch.
Well, Geto was taken care of. He was dead. Kenjaku's a bitch.
What made him think he could beat? What made him think he could win against Gojo?
Well, he didn't go up against Gojo specifically. His plan was to separate Gojo and to attack Jujutsu High while he was taking care of stuff in I think it was Ikebukuro or Shibuya again. It was just some other city, and while he was doing that,
And then Yuta was able to.
yeah, then Yuta
beat
came
him.
in, who he didn't expect. But yeah, Yuta came in and beat Geto, and then
Did he kill Geto?
no, Geto escaped Yuta, and then but he was tracked down by Gojo, and then Gojo killed him.
Damn. He didn't even want to talk to him?
He did talk to him a little bit, but he's like, I got to do this, right? Like, I know you're not going to change your mind and you're going to keep trying. So,
Damn.
yeah, it was a sad moment.
Then he had the nerve to talk to him in the afterlife. Fuck out of here, man. And I'm like, Ghetto, honestly, get the fuck out of my face, bro.
Well, I guess once you kill a guy, you're even.
Nah, because he started all of this, man. He put all of this into motion.
Kenjaku was already working. He was around. He was
Was he?
Itadori's mom probably at this point.
Oh, yeah, right. Was Kenjaku the one that set Toji into motion?
No, that was
He
other.
just got lucky.
That was other things.
That he fronted on the Star Plasma vessel.
No, yeah, Kenjaku wasn't involved in that stuff, but
He benefited from it.
I mean, it worked out. It just happened to work out for him in that way. But I don't think he had anything to do with it.
Star no plasma.
Yeah. But Brian, did you have any other thoughts?
No.
I
We're
don't,
talking on this time.
I don't remember where we were, where you were, but
I don't remember either, but I feel like I covered everything I wanted to talk about.
yeah. This was a close second for me, to be honest. I think My Hero Academia just edged it out a little bit this time around, but I really like how this was because I remember we talked about.
Was that a pun?
No. Because of Ed Shot? No, I swear to God, I did not mean that as a pun. But yeah, I thought it was just like we talked about how we had like a little bit of curiosity as to whether Takaba's awareness of his technique would be a detriment to him or not, and whether it's better that he's aware or not of his technique. And I think like now we know that like it wouldn't be the best thing for him to be aware of his technique, as the angel puts it, is that we don't really know if it's better for him to know that if he thinks it's funny, then it's will. Then if he thinks it's funny, then it will happen. It's best that he doesn't know that, because then he'll just try to make things happen, and they won't. Like there's a genuineness that has to come from like his technique or the application of his technique in order for it to work. Because if he knows that the jokes he tells could in theory be the solution to his problems, then that would be a pressure on him. And he would definitely not feel funny if the things that he tries to make happen doesn't happen. So I think it's interesting, and this little moment here where I think that's probably, if he is somehow somewhat triumphant in this fight, it's that realization of gaining the confidence to believe that he's funny, and have that work in conjunction with his technique in general. Having the awareness of it not impede his technique at all is, I think, the character moment here. But yeah, I love that his like technique works off confidence, because that is kind of comedy. A lot of it is about confidence and just like buying into yourself and believing in your ideas and what you think is funny. So it makes sense that the weakness would be like the feeling that you get when you're bombing. So I really appreciated that. I think it was a really smart take on a power as broken as his. It's a good like balance to it, that he's got to be confident. Because if you think about it, he was confident this whole time. Even if nobody finds his jokes funny, the mere fact that he thinks it's funny is what makes him so powerful. But But if you take that away from him, then, he's just a guy.
A jag.
He's a what?
A jag.
A jag?
Yeah. JAG.
Oh, yeah, just a guy. Yeah. He's just a
Yeah.
guy. Steve
Yeah,
Smith.
someone said that
I think it was Steve.
regarding another
I think that's
player.
like British slang, isn't it?
No, that was Steve Smith Sr.
Yeah.
He said it about Jerry Judy.
He's
He's
but they say that about players, like
They
those
say that
type of,
about
like,
players all the time.
in general who are just another guy, but specifically about Jerry Judy.
Yeah, that's what came up recently, where he was like, he's a jag. He's just a guy.
You're just another guy out there.
Yeah, but those are my thoughts on Jujutsu Kaisen this week. Do you guys have any rebuttals? Anything else to add?
No, sir.
Rebut this.
What?
Rebut these nuts in your mouth.
Whoa!
You had to get real zesty with it, bro. Come on.
Come on, man.
Zest King.
Rebut these nuts.
He said, I need extra zest on my sandwich.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was Jujutsu Kaisen. Fantastic chapter overall. I'm glad it's not on break next week.
I'm glad the Cowboys won.
Yeah, I'm happy for you. The Giants shat the bed in miraculous fashion. But
I watched that Applebee's.
did you see it?
Yeah.
It was really
Jets
dumb.
came back.
It was really dumb how we lost. It was very dumb. I'm just sitting there like, this is very dumb.
What was it? Pass interference?
No, what happened was, no, it was the Jets game. That was like the game before. But what happened was they were up 10-7, and
Yeah.
Graham Gano missed a kick.
Oh.
And then they got the ball back. The Jets did, and then Zach Wilson.
At like the 45 or something like that, right?
Yeah, then Zach Wilson took them to a field goal range, and then they made their kick, taking it to
Timed it up.
overtime. And then in
Yeah.
overtime,
They should have just punted the ball away.
bro, in overtime, the Giants got the ball first, and they had DeVito throw nothing but screens. Like Saquon Barkley got the ball like 3 times. And then they punted it away, and then Zach Wilson turned it to Aaron Rodgers and took them down the field immediately. And then they won it with a field goal.
Damn.
So that was annoying.
Aaron get a nice draft pick this year. Ooh.
Whew.
For next season.
Yeah, next season. Anyway,
Get a nice wide receiver.
oh well, we'll see. I don't know. I don't trust our drafting process anymore. We never get the right guys. It's very weird. We get we have high draft picks and we pick the wrong person every time. But anyway, that's enough on that. Let's move onward.
Bow, bow, bow.
Undead Unluck. And with that, I'm gonna toss this over to Josh.
All right, sorry, getting my phone up to Undead Unluck. But yeah, Undead Unluck chapter, I'm not sure because this app is acting slow. I know last week Andy pulled up to the scene and said, "What can I do to help Fuko-chan?" And I guess that was the gist of it. I mean, shit was hitting the fan. They was fighting against sick. Oh, a whole fucking meteor was summoned because Fuko ran into because Fuko ran into Rip by accident, and she cares about all her friends super duper hard. So that makes Unluck that much stronger, and yeah. So now a meteor is falling on them, but Andy's here to help. And they have a pretty good strategy, which is to create another stroke of Unluck equal to or stronger to counteract the meteor. And yeah, that brings us to this week, chapter 181. 1 minute. Alternate title. Naked Minute. So Fuko is standing at her man in disbelief for all his nakedness and also for him not being around for so long. But she doesn't have enough time to really wonder about it. So she starts telling him what he needs to do. And she basically says, go beat the shit out of Sick for a little while I operate. So, and that's what they do. Andy pulls up the Sick. And he says something that actually concerns me as I get older. He says, illnesses that affect sight, hearing, the heart, and lungs they ain't incurable. Oh, so you can cure them. What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it
Oh,
sounds like
that's
to me.
good. That's good. Yes. Okay.
Man, it scares
All
me
right.
that
Dude, I'm like losing
that
my
medicine has
eyesight.
evolved to the point where you could repair people's hearts.
No, that's lit. I worry about like two things: my lungs and my eyes.
Yeah, those are two important
My
things to worry
hearing
about.
too.
And my breathing. And
No,
my
I'm just
walking.
saying, like, because I sometimes I feel like low key. Anyway, I'm not getting into all that right now. No, so Andy's like, look, like they ain't incurable, and you see, I'm undead, bud. So hold these part bullet forearms. But maybe that's what Itadori is gonna do. Um. Anyway, so I love how Sick is still cut in half because he can't be repaired. So he's just like two pieces talking.
Yeah.
Are both sides saying words?
I guess so. I
I
guess
don't know how it
they both
works.
have to be talking.
Right? They're in sync, right? Yeah. And then so okay, as he's talking, he gets stuck by unmove, and then he's able to shoot his pick stuff through him. I don't know. He says talking about I already had this trick beat. I don't really understand what's happening there.
What do you mean? Oh, the
Did he
unmove.
attack? Did he attack
Oh,
Chica?
yeah. No, last time they tried to use unmove, he did a similar thing that Andy did and peeled off his skin to allow the muscles and stuff that this guy couldn't see to move.
Oh, that's what he says. I'll just peel off.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Oh shit. Yeah, you're right. That is how he beat Unmove before. Boom. But anyway, so he gets caught by Unmove. Sick is looking around for Andy because he disappeared, but Andy flew above him and kicks him in the fucking head and buries him with a meteor smash. It's like if you get spiked on stage, but then you get buried. It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I gotta sneeze.
Bless you.
Thank you. Okay. So Stick gets his head stomped in, as well as the rest of his body into the ground. And then Andy starts telling all the other negators what to do. He says, you say using draw, Eastern pass me one of those pauldrons? I guess that's a shield. Gina, put Unchange on the ground and match the shape. Sure. And then Sick is just like, what? And it's like basically he's stuck in place because of undrawn unchange in the ground, and there's this unbreakable barrier above his head, and Andy basically launches his best move while being centered, Dead Road, which is a beam of blood. It's basically as cool as it gets for this series, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's pretty
uh,
rad and edge.
Dead Road.
Dead Road.
Can I get that drop?
Which one?
I don't know, rock one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay. So he pushes him down into the earth pretty far. He's like, "Ah!" It's funny because Andy's like, look, I don't need to look for your core. I'm gonna smash all of you together into place. And I guess it's working. He's like, good damn it. And yeah, so I guess it yeah, breaks him down to his core. Um and something then things start getting a little weird. So someone recognizes that there's cracks in the ground. And then we cut to something else. So someone says move, huh? Boring. So we see Apocalypse, you know, the book that hands them the missions and rewards and all of that in quest. And he's talking to what looks like a fucking seven-sided die or something like that with a mouth. Looks like a Uma, like a
Yeah,
Uma core.
that's the move, UMA.
Oh, that's the move, UMA?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, because he's a dice. I get it. That makes yeah. I like that. Pretty cool. So Apocalypse is like, why are you interfering in the sacred quest? And he's like, oh, undead is boring. What I want to see is the negators with one life to live, clashing in the best and quickest way possible. That'll never happen with undead in the way. He's too meta against 6 power. It's no contest. Rather him get away. He won't be showing up again anyway. And then Apocalypse is like, damn, every last one of you. So a little bit of foreshadowing. So Move is interfering with the fight, I'm assuming. And I guess that makes sense. Like Andy is definitely like a super bad matchup against Sick. Like the
Yeah.
whole point of Sick is to make people hurt so they can't live on and do anything. And Andy's like, this is nothing. This is Tuesday, bitch. Like, uh we're back to saving they're back to saving Layla on the table. She did the job, and they're like, it's perfect, Fuko, and so now she needs to go. She says moves rift. I don't know if that's her or noticing. I don't know if that. I need a little bit more
I
explanation
think
to
it's
that.
her
So,
noticing that move is doing stuff.
right, I guess, but that's coming out of nowhere. But I guess we'll get more information soon. So she's like, look, I need. So Fuko's like, look, I need you, Rip, and Lotla to charge your attack. Uh, it's time to kill Sick for good. And then she goes up to Andy, and she's like, oh, she runs up to Andy so that they could link up in order to summon a big enough stroke of unluck. And they're like, everyone else is freaking the fuck out because they're like, oh, what does that mean? Like something bad, like something even worse is about to happen. Nico has his doubts, but he's about to find out. So Andy's phone is starting to disappear. He doesn't really have that much time left to help him out. So then that's when he asks Rip and Lotla to hit him with the charge move, and they send that nigga into space. Yeah, that's going to be a death battle seat one of these days. I know it. The fact that his head got launched into space. I bet. And his head aligns with a comet, and the comet intersects the meteor. Unbelievable. So I guess the day is saved. Everyone's like, how the fuck did that even happen? And it's magic. It's negation. So easy. Uh Fuko noticed, like, notices something, and she goes and jumps into like this random like hole. Oh, so she goes to jump into like the area where Stick got buried at, but like disappeared from. And because she has like a hunch that like she couldn't find Andy like anywhere on Earth, and it was as if he wasn't even in this world, like in this realm. So maybe he was in a different dimension. I think she was kind of trying to imply, and she sees like, oh, like there's another, what she's calling the flip side of this world. She says that it has to be a place where sick retreated to. There's no telling where the gate might open next. Andy has given us this chance. I won't let it pass me by. As she goes and sees another fucking union table with what looks like a few other people. But is this where Move was at? Was Move here?
Yeah, Move was brought to this area. I don't see him now. Oh wait, there he is. I think he's this thing split in half where the 10 is.
Oh, okay, maybe. Yeah, probably. But yeah, man, we got some new goons, yo.
New villain group. I think these are the
The
master rules.
Espada. This, huh?
I think these are the master rules.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So these are the Espada.
Yeah.
Is that a trope?
Yeah, I mean, villain group, the exact same amount of numbers as the good guy group.
That's awesome. That's literally as good as it gets. Did it all start with the Powerpuff Girls when they fought against the Rowdy Rebels? Is that where it all started?
I don't think so. I don't
I'm
thi-
not saying in all the fiction. I'm talking about like for childhood. Like, I'm wondering, was that the first like when I was like, yo, a counterpart team?
No. No, I mean, there's Justice
Maybe
League
Captain.
and the
There's
Legion of
Captain
Doom.
Planet. Remember Captain Planet? There
Right.
was the poison one.
Yes.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. Well,
Yeah.
anyway, that was Undead Unlocked this week. And Christian, what were your extensive and well detailed thoughts about this chapter?
I thought I really had fun reading this chapter, although I would say that I think like the layouts and the panels were a little like chaotic. It was hard for me to follow some stuff.
Mm.
Like I couldn't tell when he disappeared. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that could have been communicated a little better, that there was like a gate in the first place. So I guess I was confused as to when that happened. But eventually I put the pieces together a little bit, and the Andy stuff, I think the point is that he just redirected the comet because the comet was going after him.
Oh,
So once it got Andy,
that
it
makes
just
sense.
once it got Andy, it just disappeared, I guess.
Wow.
But yeah, one of the things that was interesting about this chapter as well is when they were talking about how Andy, because this is a clone, Andy is somewhere he can't be found, and his main body can't get out of wherever he is. I thought that was kind of interesting, and added some intrigue as to where Andy is. Um, I'll be thinking about that for a while. I thought like the coordination of the abilities was really cool. Using Unbreakable, Undraw, and Unchange at the same time was pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah, it's one of the
I like
more
the combo attacks.
yeah, it's one of the cool things about this series is that they're very good at coordinating these unique powers and working together. So yeah, it was. I really had a good time reading this one. But yeah, those are all my thoughts really. Josh, what did you think?
Uh, like I said, I think it's super cool that they're introducing the villains in this way. Uh, Andy came and shut it down. And I like how they kind of brought up the fact that, yeah, like she's definitely searched for him and made it a priority, but seemed like he was nowhere at all. So, found a way to communicate. She just went forward with her own plan and had faith. So things are getting pretty interesting. I really appreciate your explanation. Like I'm looking back through the pages and yeah, I guess he made it change.
He what?
I guess he made it change directions, you're right. Uh that's crazy. Anyway. No, those are my thoughts. I mean, I'm glad it's not. I mean, Undead is rarely ever on break, but I'm glad it's not because I'm really looking forward to how this next chapter is going to go, how this conversation is going to go. Imagine they all set it on Fuko and they're like, "You stupid bitch!
He just jump her.
You thought you was really that good, huh? You've been on top of your game for almost the entire year in Shonen Jump, but guess what, Fuko? You fucked up this time."
Yeah. You know, I will say that it is cool to see like a sense of the challenges getting tougher. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
this is the first time that like Fuko has like been challenged really. Like the
Yeah.
other, it's been getting progressively harder, but having that moment in the last chapter where Sick like cuts her hair off to make it touch Rip was such a cool moment, like strategically, and it is just an indication that like it's not gonna. Fuko doesn't have everything planned out. There's always gonna be like hitches in the
Yeah.
road, which makes sense. You can't possibly have every little bit of anything planned out. So that was cool.
All right, and she is unlocked too, like at her core.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess that's about it.
Yeah, that was Undead Unlock. And that has been our show. Thank you guys so much for listening. As per usual, you can find me at the Chris Espedal on Twitter and Instagram, Josh at JDCole_37 on Instagram, at New Jump City Josh on Twitter. Brian is at B.ESP on Twitter and Instagram. Check us out. Email us at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about, and we will answer it on our pre-show chat show that comes out usually a day or two after the main show drops. We love answering questions on there and just talking about random shit. So hit us up on that. Comment under the video version of the podcast that we put out, and we'll answer any questions you comment on there as well. That would be super cool. And like, share, subscribe while you're at it. If you prefer audio podcasts, we're pretty much on every audio platform imaginable. So check us out. Listen to the podcast. Give us a 5-star review on any of the platforms that you are listening on. And thank you guys so much for listening. We will see you guys next week. Stay safe, New Jump citizens.